Okay, so this is World Happiness Report 2021. So yeah, 2000 World Happiness Report 2021. Okay, World Happiness Report 2021. World Happiness Report 2021. So this is the 10th anniversary of the World Happiness Report and global survey data to report how people evaluate their own lives in more than 150 countries worldwide. Okay, into this reveals a bright light in dark times. The pandemic brought not only pain and suffering, but also an increase in social support and benevolence. As we battle the live ills of disease and war, it is essential to remember the universal desire for happiness and the capacity of individuals to rally to each other's support in times of great need, etc. So this is that. So and now if we look into that, what is the article is about overview on the 10th anniversary. So in this, what is the overview is that looking back over the last 10 years. Okay, over the last 10 years there has been over the last 10 years there has been a transformation of a public interest in happiness. Okay, transformation of a public interest in happiness. Policymakers would worldwide increasingly see it as an important and overarching objective of public policy. With encouragement from the OECD, nearly all its member countries now measure the happiness of their people annually. The European Union asked its member countries to put well-being at the heart of a public policy design. So while interest in happiness has mushroomed over the 10 years of World Happiness Reports, the global average of national life evolution has been relatively stable. This average stability masks a great variety of national and regional experiences, etc. So if we go into the chapter 2, then it demonstrates life evolution have risen by 1 full point or more in some countries, etc. Okay. So this is that. Okay, some countries, etc. And fallen this much more in other countries in deep trouble, with Venezuela, Afghanistan and Lebanon dropping the most. How many? Venezuela, Afghanistan and Lebanon. There has been on average been a long-term moderate upward trend in stress, worry and sadness in most countries, and a slight long-term decline in the enjoyment of life, etc. So this is that. And if we see, yeah, okay, then what next chapter is that, so in the examination point of view only this is sufficient. Okay, happiness, benevolence and trust during COVID-19 and beyond. Okay, and this national happiness ranking explores the trends over the past 10 years and provides a deeper examination of emotions, behavior and life in general during 2020-2021. Okay, the 2021 data confirm the 2020 finding that average life evaluations reflecting the net effects of offsetting negative and positive influences have remained remarkably resilient during COVID-19. For the young, life satisfaction has fallen, while for those over 60 it has risen with little overall change. Worry and stress have risen by 8% 2020 and 4% in 2021 compared with pre-pandemic levels. Okay, so this is rises, so 8% to 8% when the 8% to 4%, etc. On the positive side, the most remarkable change seen during COVID-19 has been the global upsurge in benevolence in 2021. Global upsurge in benevolence in 2021. This benevolence has provided notable support of the life evaluations of givers, receivers and observers who have been gratified to see their communities' readiness to reach out to help each other in times of need. In every global region, there have been large increases in the proportion of people who give money to charity, help strangers and do voluntary work in every global region. Although altogether the global average of these three measures was up by a quarter in 2021 compared with before the pandemic, etc. The COVID-19 has also demonstrated the crucial importance of trust for human well-being. Deaths from COVID-19 during 2020-21 have been markedly lower in those countries with a higher trust in public institutions and where inequality is lower, etc. So this is that. Then we are looking into another aspect is that for the future, the prospects of happiness will depend on a whole range of factors. Okay, what are that? Including the future course of the pandemic and the scale of a military conflict. But an important contribution will come from improvement in the science of happiness. In this 10th anniversary issue, we celebrate three major promising developments in our ability to measure and explain happiness, etc. The first is our new ability to measure the happiness, the content of a printed text. Measure the happiness, the content of a printed text, be it in books or social media. This can be done mechanically by counting the frequency of different types of words, or by machine learning, which also analyzes, etc. So these methods show that references to happiness have increased sharply over the last 10 years. Okay, so references to happiness have increased sharply over the last 10 years. Meanwhile, references to income and GDP have fallen, and they have become less common than references to happiness. These are encouraging long-term trends, etc. So automated text analysis can also automated text can also be used to measure changes in emotion over weeks or even days. At least among those who tweet, it turns out that measures of emotion on Twitter move closely in line with the replies about emotion given in social surveys, etc., which reinforces one's confidence in both methods of measuring emotion, etc. A second major area of progress concerns the relationship between biology and happiness is there. We now have many biomarkers of happiness. In addition, the genes we inherit provide important clues as to why some people are happier than others, etc. The third area of advance is the range of emotions covered in happiness. Advance is the range covered in happiness research. Happiness research in the West has tended to ignore important positive emotions which involve low arousal, such as calm, peace, and harmony. Recent research shows how significant these emotions contribute to overall satisfaction, etc. This is in chapter 6. As the science of happiness develops further, the World Happiness Report will continue to search for even deeper insights into the secrets of human happiness, etc. This research will be aided by new data and research tools like those described in chapters 3 to 6, etc. Okay, so this is that. Okay, so this is important for what. So this can be the SI point of view. We can use it as SI point. Okay, so what is causes of differences in happiness between people? Why are some people happier than others, even if they live in the same country under more or less similar circumstances? This is an intriguing question. Knowledge on why some people feel better about their lives than others may provide us with clues about how best to help those most in need. The genetically informed research such as twin and family studies can provide valuable clues, etc. One of the studies, and maybe also the most unique based on data from twins, is by Telegan and colleagues. The study made use of a unique sample of twins with data collected in Minnesota twins study between 1970 and 1984, and the Minnesota study of twins reared apart between 1979 and 1986. By comparing these two studies, researchers had access to well-being data for four types of twin pairs. Information on well-being was available for identical, 100% genetically identical and fraternal twins share 50% of genetic material on average, who grow up together like most twin pairs and non-twin siblings, etc. Intelligent and colleagues also had access to unique data for identical and fraternal twins who were separated shortly after they were born. The Minnesota team brought the twins back together and, among other things, assessed their well-being. Remarkably, identical twins who were reared apart, 100% genetically identical, so no shared environmental influences or experiences, turn out to be more similar with respect to other and to their well-being than fraternal twins who grow up together. 50% overlap on average and shared environment. The correlation for identical twins reared apart was 48, while the twin correlation for the fraternal twins who grew up together was 23. So even though these identical twins had never met before the study, their happiness ratings were still more similar than the fraternal twins who grew up together in the same family and environment. This finding was the first but very powerful indication that genetic differences between people are a source of differences in happiness, etc. So this is the because it's how the people how they are measuring the happiness of the people. Okay, so now, yeah, since the foundation, yeah, wait, sorry, okay, since the foundational work, dozens of twin family studies have been conducted to understand how genetics and environment influence well-being. Information about the magnitude of genetic and environmental influences can be obtained from twin family studies that contrast the resemblance of identical twins and fraternal and their non-twin siblings or other family members, because the estimates from any individual study may be limited. It is useful to consolidate information across multiple investigations. In 2015, two comprehensive reviews of the causes of individual differences in happiness and well-being were published. The weighted average heritability of well-being in the first review, based on a sample size of 55,974 individuals, was estimated at 36%, while the weighted average heritability for satisfaction with life was 32%. Okay, so reported that in 13 independent studies, including more than 30,000 twins from 7 different countries, to be 40%, etc. These highly similar results with overlapping confidence intervals provide a robust estimate of the genetic influence on well-being. Both reviews and meta-analysis showed that both genetic and environmental influences are important for variation in well-being among individuals living in the same society, etc. So this is the procedure. So since 2015, the twin design has been used in an additional 15 studies to investigate the heritability of well-being using different measures of well-being. Figure summarizes the heritability estimates of twin studies in the earlier meta-analysis and of the recent twin studies on well-being. The heritability estimates of the recent studies on well-being varies somewhat, but are mostly in line with the previous meta-analytic estimates, since most of the studies are based on adult samples. A recent study using a Dutch twin sample investigated the contribution of genetic and environmental factors on well-being across the lifespan. Genetic factors explained a substantial part of the phenotypic variance in well-being during childhood, adolescence, and adulthood, etc. In the younger samples, during childhood, shared environmental influences explained a large part of the variation, but these influences disappeared with age, etc. This is, of course, partly explained by the fact that young twins really share more of their environment by living the same 1,000 households, sharing the twins, etc. Okay, so this is the how they are measuring the happiness of the people.